In this tutorial, we're going to add some global page attributes to our portfolio. And most of this stuff will be dealing with font and margin sizes for our portfolio. So all of our pages will receive these styles. So I'm going to pop over to our style page here, our CSS styles sheet. And on line 4, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a comment. And this is a really good practice for designing pages, because if you have people that end up working with you, it will be kind of a way to organize your style sheet, and will help people find the things that, like if they're looking for a certain specific style to fix, they can find it easily. Plus, it'll be easier for you down the road. Like if you need to go find something, you can't quite find where you styled something. It's easier to find it later on. But the first one we're going to start with is we're going to go ahead and give some credit to you in terms of your designer. So to do a comment in CSS, we start with the / and then the asterisk symbol, and then everything in between gets grayed out. And to end that comment, we hit the asterisk symbol again, and then hit the right / again. So you can actually kind of see it right up in here, how that's going to work. So anything that's grayed out is commented out. And these are often used as notes to other people or your designer. There's a quick and easy way to do this in Dreamweaver. And if you go over here to your left-hand side on your tools column here, and if you don't see this, if you don't see all the same tools, if you click this little 3-dot customize toolbar option and click that, you'll see that you have some options here that you can really quickly add. And so what I'm looking for is the comment buttons, and I've already got them. There it is right there. So it says apply comment, remove comment. So I've already got these check marked. They're in my toolbar over here. So the quick and easy way to do this is to simply come over here and hit this little comment button, and you want to apply the second one down, not the HTML, because this is the CSS. You want to apply that type of comment. So it'll automatically put those comment brackets in there for you. So for this one, what I like to do is I like to put in some dashes to separate what you're going to put in. So I usually start with like 4 dashes with a space, 4 dashes and a space. And so in between here in the middle, what I'd like you to do is type in designed by, and then put your name. That way people know that you've designed this style sheet. The other thing, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same type of commenting. This time I'm just going to go ahead and type it in. And I'm going to actually drop it down about 4 lines. And you're going to see why I'm going to do this in a minute. / or actually, I'm sorry, asterisk and then /. So then in between, I'm going to type in like 20 / So I'm going to do like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You only have to do this once. So I'm just going to copy and paste that, hit Command C, and then on line 9 there, I'm going to hit Command V, and then I'm going to create this kind of brackety looking thing for my. So what this is going to do is this is going to separate my section. So this is going to denote basically a section for these styles. And I'm going to use comments quite a bit in this tutorial so that we stay organized and don't lose our place where things are happening. So this, to me, this section is page styles, right? And then I'm going to go one step further and then type in what I like to call like a subheading. And this subheading is going to be global page attributes. And then, so you see that I kind of have the same format for all of these. Okay. Now we're going to get into some of our styling pieces. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to target the HTML tag. So we just type in HTML, and then we're going to open up a curly brace and hit the enter return key to drop down a line. This is how I style my styles. I like to drop down a line and create kind of what looks like a stacked look to our styles. So other people do it other ways. So the thing we're going to do is we're going to type in overflow, and we're going to select X, and then we're going to type in hidden. And then after that curly brace on line 15, I'm going to hit the enter return key a couple times, and we're going to type in the asterisk symbol. And the asterisk symbol is kind of like a wild card tag, is like what I call it. And then open up a curly brace and hit the enter return key again. And what we're doing with this is we're clearing out the default margin and padding values of our web browser, so that way we can it's more predictable as to what our design will look like. Because believe it or not, every web browser has different default margin and padding values. So we want to clear those out so that way our design looks consistent across all pages. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to target the body tag. And in the body tag, we are going to open up a curly brace first, but in the body tag, we're going to mainly target our font. And this will set up our default font family and default font size for our entire website. So the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to type in font and then select font family. And I'm going to select the Helvetica. I'm going to select the one that's not available in this selection here. You can choose whichever you'd like in here, but I have one that I like and it's not in this list. And it'll still work for all of our web pages and stuff like that because it's a pretty standard font. I'm not sure why this one doesn't pop up. This font string doesn't pop up in Adobe Dreamweaver. But I'm going to type in the quotation mark, and this one is called Helvetica. And it's new, N-E-U-E, like that. And you'll see actually it pops in there, but it's setting up as Gotham first. And I don't want my font to be Gotham. So I'm going to place my cursor after there, and there's a colon or a comma. And then it's going to go to Helvetica as my secondary option, and then Trebuchet MS as my third option. And then if for some reason it doesn't like that one, it's going to go just basically be a sans serif font from there. Okay. At the end of that, with my cursor at the end of my quotation mark, we're going to hit the semicolon. Next, we're going to target our font size. Now, this is going to be a little bit different than what we've done in the past. I learned this little font size calculation piece from a conference that I went to at Adobe Max from I forget his name, but he was a great presenter, and he shared this little font size calculation piece with us, and I've used it ever since. And I don't profess to know everything as to what it has to do with, but as far as I know, it basically calculates font size on kind of like the viewer screen and resolution and all that. Not sure if that's exactly right, but it's worked for me. So I'm going to type in font size and then colon. And then here we're going to type in CALC for calculate, and then open up a parenthesis there, and we're going to start with 14 pixel plus, and then inside of this we're going to have another parenthesis, and this is going to be 16 minus 14, and then after that initial that nested parenthesis in there, I'm going to hit the space bar, and we're going to multiply. So hit the asterisk symbol, that's multiply in code. You don't use the X for that. And then hit the 2 parentheses there, and we're going to do 100 VW, which I'm guessing is view width, minus 300 pixel. Okay, and then we have a right parenthesis that goes in right after that. And then we're going to use the divide symbol, so the / in this case. And then another left parenthesis, and then 1400 minus 300. And so then you end up with 3 parentheses at the very end and a semicolon at the very end of that. So take a look at that, double check to make sure that your calculation looks correct. And I'll just pause here for a second for you to see that. Okay, last but not least, we are going to go ahead and throw in what's called a clear fix. Now, I don't know if we use this in our design this time around, but this is something that often comes up a lot in web design because of floats and things that get stacked in a web page. And every once in a while, we end up with these little bugs where stuff just doesn't seem to clear like it should and flow beneath like elements like they should. So what we do is we put in what's called a clear fix, and this is a class. So you'll notice that I put a period there at the beginning of this, and I'm gonna hit the space bar and then open up a curly brace there. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna type in clear both, and to return, and this is all like margined out with 0 and then padding 0. This is just a kind of like a fail safe, putting in margin 0, padding 0, just in case something doesn't quite, we don't want it to add any values, like any padding or margin values into those things. So that's it for our global styles. And in our next tutorial, we will start building out the header of our portfolio. Don't forget to hit Control S or Command S and save before you move on.